On the channel today, I have an assortment of approximately 1/64 scale die-cast vehicles from primarily Johnny Lightning, but also some awesome castings from M2, Greenlight, and Mini GT. Let's get each of them out for a review. Not all of them coming out of their packages, but as you can see, I've already got a good start on some of them, and we're going to take a look at those. But first, a general overview of everything you're going to see today. Black with Flames from the Street Freak series and the Demolition Derby cars. Those are brand new from Johnny Lightning. Going into Christmas 2020, as well as some Greenlight exclusives that I bought online, but you can find in your local hobby stores. A way back throwback all-terrain series. Oh, I forget how old that is. We'll take a closer look, but that was a hard truck to find. And then a fairly new Land Rover Defender. First, let's check out this awesome little Land Rover Defender 110 from Mini GT. These are highly detailed pieces. Every once in a while I'll buy one of these, but they are a bit more expensive than the other brands we're going to look at here today. This one cost me approximately $15 to $20 Canadian. I can't remember exactly, but you'll see why in just a moment. These are among the very best and most detailed models, in my opinion, for sale to the North American market. Among the best, I should say. There are plenty of terrific models and model makers out there, but you can see it's got those awesome little rubber mirrors, a real spare on the hood, and I like that those surfboards are clipped onto the roof racks. Makes for the display as a loose model quite easy to do without losing parts, as is so often the case on these small accessory items. So that is the Mini GT representation in this assortment of vehicles that you're going to see today. A real spare on the hood, and I like that those surfboards are clipped onto the roof racks. Makes for the display as a loose model quite easy to do without losing parts, as is so often the case on these small accessory items. So that is the Mini GT representation in this assortment of vehicles that you're going to see today. However, this mat, this parking mat, was also a Mini GT product, I should note, in case any of you are interested in looking for that. That's the story behind that. Now, I'm in no way sponsored by any of the brands that I talk about in this channel, but as you can see, moving parts, the doors open nice and wide, and the fit and finish is very good. The hood has a detailed engine, radiator, battery, and all the rest of the pieces under the hood that more than you would even expect to see for something at this scale and this price range. M2 costing me roughly around $10 if I can get them at the local Walmart, which is sometimes the case. More often, though, I end up buying them on eBay, and there they end up costing around $13 to $15 Canadian. Let's go to another truck before we look at that Ford Mustang, which is very cool. And that is the 1973 Chevrolet Custom Deluxe 10. Here's the packaging it came in, the Poison Spider or Black Widow packaging, I guess. Got a Black Widow spider on it. I guess we'll just put that in the background. And there is the model. Very blacked out square body truck. Slammed, of course, as most of these M2 square bodies are at this time. And there we've got the step side, back. Not a whole lot of detail under the hood here, just got that fuel injected engine. So this truck actually looks a lot like a truck you're able to get in the Auto Lifts 2-pack as well, with a square body flare side or step side and a straight box pickup truck as well. Now on to this Ford Mustang. It's the 1988 Ford Mustang GT. Release 52, in case I've been forgetting to mention the release numbers. That can sometimes be helpful if you're looking for these cars on eBay or something like that. And opening hood on this one, we've been seeing this casting just flooded onto the market from M2 ever since its inception, not all that long ago, a couple months ago. And this is one of the nicer paint jobs and wheel combos. Very cool. Let's see if we're going for a quicker, closer look. Cast line, of course, being the manufacturer of M2. If you're wondering about that. Very nice piece. let's take this video into a few Johnny Lightning cars I've already got out of the package, and some of the very cool ones that I want to show you here. First one being this Dodge Monaco with the Fire Marshal Demolition Derby livery on the side. Shutting you up, let me burn. It's quite dark and destructive, I would say, which is exactly what Demolition Derby is quite destructive. And here we have two perfect candidates in the different paint colors offered by Johnny Lightning. You've got an alternate A and B paint coloration, just like many other collectible models in 1/64 scale from the various brands. And again, same theme with the A and B versions of the Monte Carlo SS in the white and black. Really nice models. Extreme details. These are worth about, I think they're worth about $7 or $8 if they're for sale in your local big box stores, which is a great deal. But they're, more commonly bought for $10 to $15 Canadian. For me anyways, here on the secondary market or in hobby stores. So very nice pieces, very collectible cars, and the artwork, as I'm about to show you, that goes with them if you're a package collector, is definitely worth hanging on to. Limited edition. Now, that being the older stuff, I should have gone right to the Demolition Derby cars because that's the new stuff. And we've got a few more from the Street Freaks series that I'm going to open up for you guys today. From the Black with Flames. But let's just take a look at the packaging that those Dodge Monacos came in. And pretty much the same. Here again, Street Freaks. Collect all 6 in the new release, 2020 release 3. And then previous release 2. Some cool models in that one I did collect and review on this channel, including version A and B of that Ford Crown Victoria Demolition Derby car. In retrospect, I kind of wish I'd picked up that van, but I did not see them when I was shopping for them at that time. Nice models, and then we're going to get these ones opened up, so we'll take a look at the packaging before it is destroyed. Version A and B, again, release 3 of the 1929 Ford Crew Cab pickup. Limited to 2,500 pieces. Finally, the last of the packaged vehicles from Johnny Lightning. These 3 Cadillac ambulance and hearse cars. Castings sometimes interchangeable. These ones are quite nice pieces. Hobby exclusive, so sometimes priced a little higher if you're only able to find them at your local hobby store or online, as is typically the case with these. And the final 3 vehicles before we start cracking open some of those Johnny Lightnings, and of course, well, we can go right into these ones and then finish with the Johnny Lightnings. But we've got 3 Greenlight exclusives. Well, two are exclusives. One's just one of those trucks that I've been looking for a while. This one was from Series 9 All-Terrain. That's the 87 GMC High Sierra. The other vehicles in this series on the back, and I didn't have any trouble getting some of those. It was just this one truck that seemed to be the biggest problem. And at the time, it was still quite a new casting from Greenlight. This isn't a terribly old series, keep in mind, only I think a year, maybe 2 years old at most. But at that time, this truck, especially with the lifted stance and those awesome wheels and paint job, hitch and tow hitch and everything, it had everything going for it. And look, guys, I got a nice straight truck. The box matches the cab, trim lines perfectly. That's really nice to see. So that's the older piece. These are both new pieces that you would find in your stores right now. If you're watching this video at the time of filming. We've got the Ford T5 again. This one's a newer Ford Cobra. We looked at an older Ford Cobra T5 in a previous video, but here we have the 1979. And this is a really good casting as well, with an opening hood. Good details all the way around. Great graphics. And I'm having a little bit of trouble to focus here, but then again, moving around too much. Got the hood opens to reveal that detailed engine. It's a really good looking car in 1/64 scale especially. And the packaging for that, pretty straightforward. Some information about that again. Mustangs. We don't have time to read or stop and look at all those things, so I do apologize for that. But of course, you can always go to the associated manufacturers' websites, if applicable, and find out more about them there. Here we have another awesome 73 Ford F100. I just ripped this one out of the package. I've been dying to look at it. It's covered in mud and quite an authentic look. Looks like it just drove through a huge muddy puddle. And this one is from, it is a series in a way, but I can't remember what it's called exactly. Doesn't really have a name. Out for a loose roll on the parking pad. Some great artwork, of course, which we looked at, but the real artwork is this vehicle itself. And of course, yet another opportunity to keep some packaging trivia. This is what I'm really after. Now, this model has a lot of weight to it. It is all die cast, including the cab, the fenders, and the box. Has a plastic tonneau cover. Really good looking wheels on this thing. Let's zoom in a bit and take a closer look. Just a superb model. And on the license plate, Fire Crew. Can we zoom in a little more? Michigan Fire Crew. Awesome. Okay, let's get the other version out. That was version B. Now the version A, so the first release, coming out of the packaging now. And let's go in for a close look at this truck as well. Hot rod, whatever you want to call it. Check out those red tint windows. Very cool. Now, I'm not as much of a fan of these wheels, but they do look good on this model. Different license plate. And this one reads, On Fire, Michigan. Very clever. Thankful for the zoom lens on my camera right now as we look at these models. Now, these roll just like a Hot Wheels. I mean, they're very high quality. And they certainly do look and feel it. Now, let's go in for the final remaining high quality pieces. That is these three Cadillacs, and in no particular order. Very cool looking casting. I do have this casting in my collection elsewhere from previous years, and always happy to add another one. Especially when it's got a nice original looking paint job such as this. Okay, let's get that focus back in order. Very nice white wall tires on it. Now this is a small casting, so it's not going to be anywhere near actually 1/64 size. And part of this video towards the end will be, a comparison of those vehicles side by side that do claim to be 1/64 scale, and it can show you how the difference in scale is when you're familiar with different size vehicles to some extent. So that one's probably more like a 1/75 scale, I would say, or thereabouts. Not sure though. Another one coming out as the other one. This is a 66 ambulance versus hearse. So a life-saving vehicle. Oops. Is that going to stay there? Very cool. Just put them side by side initially. So you've got the 4, no less than 4 lights on the roof of this ambulance. Very bright car. Oxygen-equipped ambulance. Quite a large car in real life. Okay, we've got one left in this Cadillac series. This, I do believe, was all 3 released for 2020 as far as this little Cadillac series goes, although I could be mistaken. I may be missing one. I have not been actively trying to collect all sets in completion at this time, just really the cars that I like. And this is a pretty cool looking old ambulance. This one's a 1959. Got the smaller lights on the roof. Check out those tail lights on this car. Now, interesting wheels. This one's normally had thick tires in the past. I think this is the first time I've seen this model with some skinny tires. And check out those spacings. I really like it. I think it looks a lot better like this with those skinny little authentic, realistic tires versus the big thick ones that we used to see on this casting. They used to be more like this thickness on this 29 Ford here. But with the tires now being half the depth, or width, I mean, I think that looks like a much more realistic car, especially given its small scale. There's definitely at least one comparison I have to make here between brands, as I have them all out before me, and that is of this Ford F100. So let's put the M2 next to a Greenlight model, just for a quick side-by-side. Both being similar style trucks with similar equipment. You can see there's a difference in overall length from the M2 to the Greenlight. And the wheelbase different, so possibly differences in the actual trucks, but nice to see those castings side by side to see that the details on the two of them are quite similar in the level of quality. And I've got two 1/64 scale Mustangs to look at side by side. Again, different models, quite different models in this case, different years. And yeah, so it looks pretty good. Got the Dodge Monaco. That's another scale that's going to be a bit on the larger side, similar to the Cadillac ambulances and hearse. So it's going to look kind of strange next to other 1/64 scale vehicles. But not so bad. In a collection, it looks pretty good. And for mine, my collection is separated by brands most of the time. Although with some of the brands that are truly 1/64 scale, such as Auto World, Greenlight, and M2, as well as Mini GT, those often end up side by side in the rest of my collection. Although I don't have a lot of Mini GT yet, it is slowly growing in my collection's presence, if only the price is a little bit more affordable. And let's take one last look at all of these awesome cars down in the parking lot. Everything out of its packaging and shining under the bright lights of the Diecast Museum. And let's just do a slow pan over all of these awesome models. Which one's your favorite, guys? Do you prefer the big trucks, the old cars, or something completely different? Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're after any of these things, as always, happy hunting, my friends.